There we go. Excellent. So again, welcome to navigating my service hub, as well as a brief introduction to a few other useful things like TMU email, OneCard, and other software that you may need when you're in the graduate programs. My name is Daniel Garcia. I'm the manager of graduate program administration here at the Creative School. While we do the presentation, if you don't mind just staying in mute, that'll be great. We will have an opportunity for questions period at the end. And at that point, feel free to unmute and ask questions. Also, if you want to add your questions to the chat, feel free to do that as well. And we'll be answering them more than likely closer to the end, but we'll take a look as things happen. Also, if you can, feel free to turn your video on. It's always great to see faces rather than just a blank screen, but I know depending on the circumstances, you may not be able to, that's okay. But again, if you can, that'll be fantastic. Okay, so with that, I'm going to pass it on to Marnie Gilbert. Marnie, the floor is all yours.
Hi, everyone. We're just going to begin with a land acknowledgement. And at TMU, we always try to remember that land acknowledgement is more than a formality. It's a starting point and a reminder to learn about the history of the land we work and live on. So in that spirit, there's some links at the bottom of the page where you can learn more information about our city and the history of our country. So we are speaking to you from Toronto to Toronto. This city is located in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. And next, I'm just going to take a moment to introduce our administrative team. So there are 6 of us who work in the office. There are 3 graduate program administrators. Emily Hall works primarily with the digital media program. It's our largest program and welcomes over 100 students each year. Elaine Nee, you've probably seen Elaine's name at the bottom of emails already. Elaine deals with all incoming students and the process of offers and acceptance. So questions you've sent to the program emails to this point will probably have been answered by Elaine. Tanisha works in more administration. So she works on awards, award calculations, graduate program audits when you're finishing the program to make sure that you've met all the requirements, those types of processes. My name's Marnie. I work in finance and administration. So I'm also in the back end. I work on schedules, contracts, budgets, that type of thing. But I also work on events. So at the beginning of orientation, you'll see my face because I'll be the person who drops off the coffee and the cookies. Mohammed is a name you'll see as you go through the program. So Mohammed is our academic coordinator. So questions you have through as you journey through your graduate studies program will be answered primarily by Mohammed. And then Daniel, who you've met, wears many hats. So he kind of oversees all of the processes. And if your question or request is more complex, Daniel will often jump in to assist. So we just have some helpful resources here, and these are primarily helpful resources related to the topics that we're going to be talking about. The first one is a general page that our office has put together that has a variety of student resources, so it's a great one to have flagged. And then the next one is actually just our program email, because as we talk about various platforms and applications. If you're having issues with any of them, you're always welcome to email us. We're here to help, and we've often encountered the issues before, so hopefully we're able to kind of streamline the troubleshooting process and get you to resolution faster. But the specific teams that deal with technology issues are listed below. So the OTI team, that stands for Operations, Technology, and Infrastructure, is a faculty-wide team that deals with technical support. So faculty-specific technologies such as computer labs, the software that is managed by the creative school, the Adobe suite, Microsoft Office Access, they'll deal with troubleshooting there. The CCS team, the next one on the list, is Computing and Communications Systems team. So they're the university-wide IT team, and you can contact them by submitting a form for IT help, but they also have an email and a phone number where you can leave a message and someone will get back to you. And those are issues with kind of general technology. So your email, Google Drive, TMU identity, two-factor authentication, and the general computer labs. All those areas fall under the CCS team. D2L is a specific platform that's used inside the courses. So some instructors in the grad program don't use D2L, but some of them will, and it's a platform where they'll post the course descriptions, requirements for different projects, and they can also use it to contact you. There is a website that has information for students on how to log on and the different aspects of the platform. But any additional support you'll need, the questions go through your course instructor for D2L. And the last one is for OneCard access. So OneCard is our security card that gives you access to the facilities on campus, as well as if you want to load it to make purchases at the kind of food courts on campus. And that there is quite an extensive website for OneCard. There's also an email address to contact their office, and we'll go through the OneCard process in this slideshow, as well as kind of some troubleshooting points for it. So at this point, I'll hand it over to Daniel to talk about your TMU identity.
Excellent. Thank you, Marnie. Okay, so let's talk about you're now a new graduate student, possibly coming from undergrad at TMU, possibly coming from somewhere else. Either way, you need to activate your online identity and your email account. Now, basically, your online identity is your the step you're in right now. You're an applicant, and so you've created a profile, and you have the access to the application system. That's where you upload all your documents, all those different things. So right now, that's sitting as the applicant status. Once matriculation is completed, and matriculation is just a process between converting, your applicant status into a current student status. That usually happens mid-August. Whenever that happens, then that same portal, it's called the my.torontomu.ca portal, or MyServiceHub. That portal will become now a student sort of portal. And then so around that time, you'll need to activate your online identity, which is basically just letting TMU and the tech staff know that you're now converted as a student. They'll ask you a few, there's a form you can fill out. There's a few questions, name, last name, this kind of thing. And then that will activate you in the system. So then you'll have access to the student side of MyServiceHub. Because when you log in right now, it's mostly the applicant, but now you want to see, and we'll talk about more what's in it, but it'll give you full access to the My Service Hub side of things, where you can then look at your schedule, classes, financials, and so on. Very important to do this so that you can actually see what your classes are. You can actually start making changes. Pretty much everything that you'll do at the university in relating to making changes, adjustments, payments, those kinds of things, awards, scholarship, almost everything goes through MyServiceHub. So it's extremely important that you get this set up as soon as you can. Like I said, it's usually around mid-August, so just keep in mind around August 15th, 16th, you'll be able to start doing this. Normally, once you get access and it's converted, that will also give you access to other things, kind of like your email account. So after you've been matriculated and you have activated your online identity, you'll be able to then log into MyServiceHub, and there's usually a link for. I think the very first time you do it, it will actually give you access to or a request to create a username, which will be your email address, basically. So mine is D2 Garcia, for example, and that was what's created back in the day. You can put your name. I think now you can pretty much put any, as long as it hasn't been used before, you can just create it, and that'll be your at torontomu.ca email address. It will also give you access to the Google Workspace, which has access in Google Drive. So everybody will have access space in Google Drive. Contacts, of course, calendars, groups, chat, all the different things that Google has, and it's Google, but it is managed by TMU. So if you're familiar with Gmail, it's the same thing. However, it is all TMU branded and controlled by the university. And you'll use it a lot, and that's going to be the official way of communicating. So at the university, the official way of communication starting in September will be your TMU email address. So we will stop using your personal emails, and we'll switch over to your email address once it's activated, usually around the second week of September, to make sure everybody has enough time to make that happen. Another use for your online identity is to be able to sign into labs. So any computer labs around the university, and we have tons of them. There's some in Carroll West, some in the library building, some in the individual buildings for each of your programs. So whenever you go to a computer, you'll need to enter your online identity. So make it easy for you to remember, don't lose it. So you can actually log in and get access to all the different portals, as well as, like I mentioned before, MyServiceHub, which is access through my.toronto.mu.ca, sorry. All right, could we go to the next slide, Marnie, please? So MyServiceHub, like I said, MyService is kind of like the portal where everything lives. You're going to find everything kind of within this screen. It is basically your one-stop shop. Everything's there. Financials, academics, anything, any sort of changes you need to make, you'll do it there. This is just a quick screenshot on the slide that you see, but you can sort of see just below where it says my.torontomu. You have different tabs. You have a section for MyServiceHub, which you make changes. You have apps. You have all these different things in there. And then there's, of course, the MyServiceHub tab. Now, within there, MyServiceHub will be your official, the official place where you have to check your class enrollment. So you have to confirm you're enrolled in classes. You want to confirm your class schedule. Now, why do I say this is the official place? Because you may also, and your instructors will talk about this, and Marnie mentioned it before, as D2L. So D2L is a different software teaching software that we use. However, in terms of enrollment, in terms of scheduling, and in terms of actually confirming your academics, you have to do that through MyServiceHub. D2L is a learning tool, so most of the instructors will use it, and you will see it in D2L. You see your courses and stuff like that. But some courses, instructors, do not use D2L for their course, in which case you will not see it on your D2L list. But to confirm that you are still enrolled, you want to go to MyServiceHub, look at your schedule, and as long as in MyServiceHub it says you're enrolled, then you are good to go. You're officially enrolled in the course, even if your instructor is not, or your course is not showing in D2L. I mentioned this because that's usually one of the first things that happens in September. Oh, I'm not enrolled in my class. I cannot see whatever interior design 101 or whatever class it is, and because you're looking in D2L. So just make sure you check in MyServiceHub, and then that's official enrollment in there. And again, we always will send you, whenever we enroll you, by the way, Mohammed will usually send you some email confirmations with some links and instructions of everything. But I just wanted to mention that to make sure that everybody knows ahead of time, basically. in MyServiceHub, you can also change your contact information. You can access your unofficial transcripts. You can review financial information like tuition fees, how much do I owe, how much how much I have to pay. All those different things are all in there. And so again, very important to go through that. Marnie, would you mind going to the next slide, please? So here's once you hit MyServiceHub, there's the screen you'll see, and so on the left-hand side, you can sort of see the different areas available there. So you can see your student center, you can see communications, et cetera, et cetera. It's a pretty easy platform to use. You basically just have to log in and then click on the different areas that you're looking for. For example, on the right-hand side, and the same slide here, on the right-hand side, after clicking on student center or center that you can see this what it looks like in terms of your schedule. This is just an example from a screenshot from the structure from the website, but you can sort of see what your schedule will kind of look like. It gives you the day, the time, all those different things. I won't go through every single detail in MyServiceHub, otherwise we'll be here like 3-4 hours. And so instead, I'm gonna leave the link that's on the screen right now on the chat. And then this is basically where you can sort of see all the instructions. So it's kind of like our IT staff created a basically like a how-to tutorial, I guess, if you want to call it that. And so you'll be able to do that, see that in there and go through different screens. So whenever you run into issues or you know how to access something, just bookmark this link and you'll be able to go in there and see how to get to the different portions in there. Again, just keep in mind that everything will be within MyServiceHub. Next slide, please. Okay, so that is MyServiceHub. And again, if you have any questions, please add them to the chat and we'll go back to them after. The second thing to keep in mind is your one card. So like Marnie mentioned, this is your identification here at TMU. This is when it identifies you as a current student. So make sure that you have your card. It's extremely important. Now, one of the things that that we are doing right now, and sort of the system is switching, is you're gonna have when you apply to get your one card, and you can do that online. You are gonna get an actual physical card that is has your photo, and I'll show you mine, but it's it's quite old, but that's that kind of like that little thing like this. That is mostly for identification purposes. So it just shows you who you are, your name. So if at any point in time you're trying to access a particular building and you're running into issues, you can sort of show your card to security, they'll let you in. You might need it for some if you have exams or projects or things like that. Sometimes you need to show it, et cetera, et cetera. At the same time, you will have an opportunity to add what's called like entry access to the buildings to your phone. All right, so it's kind of like so you can use your phone. You will tap on the entry door, and that will allow you to go into the building here in the Research Communication Center or the Interior Design building or whatever building you need to access. Now it's important to note there are two options, right? Because the card right now, if you do the regular card, that one's only for identification. It won't grant you access anywhere. And then your phone, if you decide to go in that direction, your phone will be the one granting you access. And so it don't get mixed up with the two of them, because if you try to access your card and it's not working, try with your phone and then you'll probably be fine. The only exception is you can actually pay for a I guess an upgraded card that does have the access. For example, maybe your phone doesn't give you that capability. You can do it directly on the card, and then you can use your card to access different places. So anyway, again, we can go through all of that. We can go through that process in a second. But basically, to activate all of the different things, all you need to do is go to the website that's on the screen, and so the link that's on the screen, I'll put that in the chat. We'll share the slides for you guys later, but basically it'll click on that, it'll take you to the different steps. And once you have activated your online identity, you do that. Step 2 is easy. You basically send a photo of yourself. I think they have some requirements, like make sure it's a clean white background. Don't send a photo of your best 3 buddies together and stuff like that, because that won't work, because obviously we won't know who you are. So it has to be a single photo, kind of headshot. passport style kind of thing, and that'll be sort of that's what they'll use to submit that online alongside an application. And it's basically again including your name, student ID, all those different things. You upload your photo, that will then be reviewed by the one card office to make sure the photo is accurate and it works, and your profile has been activated and so on. And then you'll be able to start to pick up your physical one card sometime in August. That was 25th, I believe, is the first date in the morning. And that will allow you to sort of, get the actual physical card. And then at the same time, there is a link here. You see at about step 6 is once everything's activated and ready, you can then add your one card to your digital wallet. So it's kind of like adding your bank card to your Apple Pay or your Google Pay. I think they use Apple or Google as the two options. So if you're an Android, you should use Google. If you're an Apple, obviously Apple. And so you'll add it at that point, and that's you activate it, and it's, again, same thing. It will be just like tapping in at the grocery store when you're paying for things, except you're now tapping and in the card readers, little black boxes in front of the doors. Now, generally speaking, you will get general access to most of the buildings on campus. So like the library, the building where your classes are held, some of the main areas like the Carroll Hall, Carroll South, those areas in between central buildings. But you won't get access everywhere. Some of the buildings require special access. And so if you encounter any point in time that you're tapping in your phone and your card and nothing is working, that's when you'll need to send us an email at your program email address, so that then we can look into see if you need access there. We can try to get it for you, or maybe you don't need access there and there's a different way to get in through a different door or something. So just make sure you let us know, and then we'll check that out for you. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. So I'll put the links in a second, and maybe Marnie, you mind going to the next slide?
Sure.
Where are we? Okay. Go ahead.
The next slide just talks more about OneCard, just some helpful notes that we wanted to share, and then links to the access. So like Daniel mentioned, there is general access for all students, and a variety of other things that you can use your OneCard for, but it doesn't take you everywhere. So there's 4 levels of access you will receive as a grad student. So there's the general access, and then graduate student access, which is for a special floor in our student learning center. There's a graduate study a room there, and then general study space, as well as 30 smaller bookable spaces. And on this slide, there's a link there, so you can actually see a virtual tour of the grad space in the SLC. Then the 3rd level of access is by our faculty. So you'll get access to the Catalyst. And again, there's a link there to the Catalyst website, but it's an amazing facility for our graduate students. So it's a beautiful room in the 2nd floor of the RCC. It's a study space, but then it also houses a variety of our hubs and kind of labs. So faculty members that run those hubs and labs have small offices around the outside of the space. And so you can kind of knock on their door and ask questions about the AI hub or the live events hub. There's a whole listing on the website. And you'll also get access to the Creative School specific computer labs. So you'll get general access to the computer labs that are open to all students, but you'll also get access to the ones that are specific to our faculty. And then the 4th layer of access is program specific. So for most of our programs, there's specific buildings or rooms or labs that you'll get access to depending on the requirements of your program. And just to go over the notes at the top, so these are kind of helpful notes that the OneCard office passed along to us. If you change your phone, please reach out to the OneCard office via that email address that we provided so that your access can be updated. And then Daniel mentioned this already, but to have the physical OneCard programmed as a facility access card so that you're able to either like tap your phone or tap the card, you have the option. There's an additional process required, so there's an additional fee. I believe it's at $35 right now. So there's that option available. And then sometimes students have specific questions related to accessibility or accommodations. So there is a special page on the OneCard site for those. So an example would be if you have a preferred name that you want to appear on your card, you can go to this site and learn the process to have that done. And then the last note they asked us to mention is that the OneCard application process is a first come, first serve basis. So as soon as you get your TMU identity, as soon as you're matriculated, you can begin the OneCard application process. And starting early means you get into the line to get access earlier. They do it as they receive the applications and requests. Halfway through the process, if you're new to TMU, you'll notice in the application process, there's a point where you submit an application with your photo, and then the next step 4 is to complete the application. That's because you'll receive an email once your photo is improved. So as soon as you receive that email, you can then proceed and complete the application process. So at both points there, when you're starting the application process and when you're completing it, it's all first come, first serve. So the earlier, if you want to make sure on the first day of classes, you can get in everywhere, they ask that you start early rather than waiting till the last minute. I'll just jump. And the last slide about the OneCard is just some troubleshooting. So there are 2 kind of basic troubleshooting notes. This is like if your computer's not working, try unplugging it and plugging it in again kind of notes. So the first one is that the physical OneCard is primarily an identification card. Unless you have paid extra to have it programmed as an access card, you can only use your phone. So it's just that some students forget that that identification card will not get you into the facilities unless it's programmed specifically to do so. And the second note is, as Daniel also mentioned, there's 2 wallets that work for your digital card, the Apple Wallet or the Google Wallet. All other wallets will not work. So if you have a Samsung wallet, for example, it won't work. You'll have to download the Google Wallet as well. And then if you're still having issues, the process is to contact our office through the program emails and to provide the time and location of where the issue occurred. So if you're using your digital card and you can't get into one of the labs, just note the lab number and the time when you had an issue, because it's a 2-step process to figure out what the problem is. First, we need to check with security to make sure that the physical technology is working and they haven't received notification that there's been other issues. So we'll check with security first. And then if the hard wiring is all systems are go, then we will connect you with the OneCard office and they can look at your specific card to help you troubleshoot and find out what the issue is.
Marnie, can I just add one thing? Just for everybody to know, and be mindful, at the very beginning of the term, so in September, there will be some OneCard issues. I can almost guarantee it. It always happens. The security team, a smaller team, is relatively, and the OneCard team is fairly small, and they're programming all, what is it, 40, 60,000 one cards that we use in the university. So there might be some delays. That's why it's so important that you submit your request as soon as you can, so that you can get caught in that, and then your one card's not there. Make sure you pick up your card, because the same thing, if you get it and everything, but you don't pick up your card, you still, it may still not be active. So make sure you do all those things ahead of time. If you do run into issues, send us an email. We will try to, update access, stuff like that, as soon as we can. But they're usually the first 2-3 weeks of the semester in September tend to be a little slow in terms of updating and making corrections and things like that, just because there's so many requests happening at the time. Just kind of giving you a little bit of warning, because that does happen every year, unfortunately. And it just has to do with volume, because it's every single student and faculty member and staff member gets their card updated at that time. So just as an FYI. Thanks, Marty.
No problem. So the next platform or application we're going to talk about is the two-factor authentication. And so this is required for signing into almost everything now at TMU. But there are two authenticators that are used. So there's the Google Authenticator and the Microsoft Authenticator. And the Google access is for most of the basic systems. So your email, your Google Drive, anything in the Google Suite, obviously. And then the Microsoft Authenticator is for the software. So the Microsoft Suite, it is also the account that's used when you're signing into Adobe. And the link is at the top of this slide for how to set these up. And this link leads you to a process where you can download and set up both authenticators. But we just wanted to let you know that you also have the option to install one authenticator and then put both accounts on it. So in either authenticator, there's an option at the bottom of the screen to add another account. And then you can scan the QR code for the TM Google account or TM Microsoft account and have access for both the Google account, the TMU Google account and the TMU Microsoft account by only downloading one authenticator. I think there might be questions at the end about that. It's kind of clear as mud, but yeah, so please, if that wasn't clear, ask questions and we can go through this process. But to show you where you can find those QR codes, I've just put a screenshot at the bottom here. So to access two-factor authentication settings, it's through your My Toronto MU platform. Under the self-service, there'll be a section to click on security. And then under there, you'll see the two-factor authentication heading and the Microsoft multi-factor authentication heading. And that will take you to the page where the QR code is. So again, if you have questions about that, please ask at the end and we can go over that again. And then we're just going to talk about some of the software licenses that are available. So you receive individual licenses for 2 software suites. Microsoft Office Suite is available to all students at TMU. There are steps to set it up. And as listed here, you're able to download and install Office on up to 5 PCs or Macs and on up to 5 tablets and phones. And they've also just included a note that you will lose access when you graduate and become an alumni. I should add here, for your email, you can choose to keep your email for the year after you graduate, if you want to stay in touch and find that that's the easiest way. And then the Adobe Creative Suite is the other software package that's available to all of our graduate students. And this is actually only available to the graduate students in our faculty in the Creative School. So we've included here a link to the listing of the full package that you will have available to you. It's really extensive. It's basically everything Adobe offers. And then below that is the link on how to set it up. So I've also included a note. So when you're installing it, just going through the process, if you already have a personal subscription or you've signed up for a trial to any Adobe products, please sign out of that account and then sign in again using your TMU credentials, because that's the only way you'll be able to access these licenses. And then furthermore, when you sign in with your TMU address, indicate that it's a school or company account and not a personal account. It will let you sign in with those credentials as a personal account, but you won't actually get access to the software. So, and this one, I didn't put a note here, but it allows for two downloads to two computers, but then access to everything online as well. And just a final note about other software. So there is a variety of software that the different programs will use. We haven't listed it here, but we just wanted to make a note that your course instructors will go over with you regarding how to access this software. So which computer labs have the software available, or how to access the licenses. And another note, if you're working on a project that's a little bit outside the requirements of your program, we do also have a variety of really amazing facilities in the Creative School where they will help you work on your projects, even like start businesses, learn how to be an entrepreneur, those type of things. There's hubs available. So an amazing one is the Design and Technology Lab, which has all kinds of technology, robots, a variety of 3D printers, laser cutters, welding equipment, just amazing stuff. And there's open studio hours. So if you have a project and you're not sure how to get started, this is a great place to go, because not only do they have a ton of equipment there, they also will be able to lead you to other places that have resources available as a creative school student. And that's all our slides for today. So if you have any questions, please either unmute or put a comment in the chat, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. Oh, Cedric?
Yeah, you had mentioned that we should wait for the matriculation period to be over to sign up for our one card. I sort of jumped the gun and have already done all of that, and I did get an email saying the photo submission was accepted. So should I be okay, or should I maybe reapply?
You should be okay, but there should be a link there to complete the application process. Did you see that on the email that has the acceptance of the photo?
Um, no, it doesn't say. It just says that I can create the one card, the digital one card, one business day after receiving the email, and then I can pick it up starting August 25th, the physical one.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Have you created the digital one?
No, not yet.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that is kind of what they refer to as finishing the process. So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
you're all set. You don't
Perfect.
apply again. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Also note, if anybody has a one card because you were a TMU undergraduate student before, you might be able to use the exact same card. So I think when you complete the form, the application, there's a place where you can indicate if you were a previous student, and that will sort of let the one card office to use that kind of thing. because usually your TMU student ID will be the same forever. So if you're an undergrad, you're a grad, you decide to go to a PhD later, you come back for a second graduate degree, it'll be the same student ID. So it's all attached to the same profile. Okay, there's a question in the chat, Marnie, from Don. If we already activated our Microsoft Authenticator using our TMU student number during the application process, will we need to redo it after we get our student emails in August? Usually no. Once you activate it, it's like I say, it's the same account. So once you activate it once, it'll be the same. It should be active. Now, one thing to keep in mind is there's two different authenticators. Think of it as two different security services. So there's the Microsoft Authenticator, which is specifically used for Microsoft and Adobe. And that's usually it. So maybe a couple other things, but that's the two main ones. And then there is the Google Authenticator sort of login. And this is the one you would use for your email, or you would use it to log into MyServiceHub. So basically, you may need two codes, basically. So when you have your Authenticator app, you'll see two different codes. And one will be more for your email and MyServiceHub login. The other one will be for Microsoft and Adobe login information, just as an FYI.
Daniel, can I ask a question?
Go for it.
So with the one cards, if students are able to get them early and they're on campus and want to check their access, when do we program the one cards? You'd still have to wait.
Yeah, it won't. They more than likely they won't be programmed until either the very last week of August or the very first week of September, generally speaking, because they have to do a whole switch. They have to basically finish end programming for anybody who has graduated at the end of August, and then they have to program everybody at the start of September for that's coming in. So that happens around the same time, but it really depends on, excuse me, on the one card office how fast they can do the turnaround or the flip. So I would say possibly the end of August, the last week of August, but definitely the first week of September. And then usually during that last week of August, it is orientation week. So it's a lot of the times the main buildings are usually open, or there's someone to let people in. If you run into any issues, just send us an email and we'll try to help out. Great question, Marnie. There's another question in the chat from Nicole. Hi, I was wondering about the MIT 2-year program foundational courses coming August 11th. Last Zoom session, we were told there would be a Google Form sign up, but I haven't seen any further communications or an update on this. Nicole, yes, we are working on it. We are finalizing a few things to basically finalizing the registration system, how exactly that's going to work. But like I said before, we have your name information. We have the instructors are sort of prepping the courses and everything. We will be sending that an email hopefully this week, and you'll also have a quick survey as well with questions to interior design students, just to help us customize the workshops a little better. But it's coming up, so thank you for being on top of it, and we won't forget. We'll send you stuff soon. Another question, Samuel, from Samuel. Do we need one card to access the gym facilities? Yes, you will need a one card access to access the gym facilities, or pretty much any facility at the university. Generally speaking, you'll need your one card access, either via it might be the phone if you activate it there, or if you pay for the extra card, it'll be the actual card itself. But yes, you will need it. Question from Sammy. In terms of managing courses, if one enrolls in 5 classes but decides to drop a class come September, is that something that can be done manually on MyServiceHub? Great question, Sammy. In terms of course enrollment, is different in graduate studies than there is in undergraduate. In undergraduate, a lot of the times you basically just enroll yourself or drop yourself. For graduate programs, generally speaking, you'll have to contact the program office to either enroll you in a course or to drop you from that same course. There's still deadlines that apply. So, usually it's within the first 2 weeks, you have to drop, you get completely. Sometimes you get a little extra time. I think to make sure that you're dropping in good academic standing usually happens, I think, within a month before the end of the semester. We can pass the deadlines later on, and we'll send you the information later on once we send the course selection. But generally speaking, in terms of adding courses or enrollment in the courses, you should have received a course selection form and an email usually from Mohammed letting you know, hey, this is a course selection form that you need to complete by a certain deadline. That will include information about which are your required courses that will enroll you in, and also it allows you to select which electives you would like to be enrolled in. And so once you submit that form, that's really all you need to do in terms of adding courses. We'll in the program office, we'll kind of review the responses, add you to your courses, and then we'll notify you via email that you have been enrolled and you have been added to the courses, at which point you go to MyServiceHub, check your schedule, make sure everything that you want is there. If everything's there, you're good to go. If you notice something's missing, send us an email, and then we'll check individually for your specific account or specific course you're looking for. If you want to drop a course after that, say, you know what, I took 5 courses. 5 courses is too many for graduate students. Sometimes, maybe. So you say, you know what, I don't want to take this one course. So all you have to really do is send us an email, let us know I am enrolled in ABC 101, whatever it is. Can you please drop me from the course? I don't want to take it anymore, kind of thing. Usually Mohammed will respond and let you know, sure, no problem. It's confirmed. Then you can check your MyServiceHub schedule. The course is gone or it's been dropped, and then you're good to go. So it's for enrollment, it's mostly through the Google Forms at the time of adding courses, and via email to drop the courses. Just keep in mind the deadlines are quite important. So now actually, I'm gonna put they're not the website hasn't been updated with the 25, 26 deadlines yet, because we still have students actively in the program. But I can the website will be updated, I guess, probably next month at some point. And I'm gonna add the link in the chat so everybody has it. Just bookmark it, and it will be updated for the 25-26 academic year, hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So you have an idea of all those different things. Perfect. I think that was the last one in the chat. Am I missing any questions, Mariana? If you see any, I'm not.
I actually just noticed that Manusha's with us from the OTI team. So I was just wondering, Manusha, do you want to jump on camera and just say hi and let us know if we missed anything about Adobe or Microsoft that we should mention?
Hi, everyone. I'm Manusha from OTI. I think you covered everything about Adobe and Microsoft. It was accurate. I think the only thing that would be updated moving forward is the student support. I think it's going to be coming from Leslie's group, but I'm still not sure whether they have an email address or anything like that. So that's something maybe we can get back to the students on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's a really good point to mention. So right now, a lot of our staffing, including our OTI team, is doing a bit of a restructure. So some of the contact teams will change a bit. So we do have a team now that is focused on educational support. So it'll shift a little bit from the individuals who we used to contact to a new team. So
We'll update the slides. I think once that's all said and done, we'll update our website so you have all the information that you need. But really, just basically have to remember that whatever the right email is and that helpful resources that Marnie showed you at the very beginning, we'll update it there so you have it, and then you can just bookmark those pages, and then you're good to go.
Thanks, Manusha. And Daniel, I just want to mention one other thing, because I know we had some MID students here. So you were talking about the fundamental courses. So those courses, just for the facilities, they'll take place in the RCC building, the Rogers Communication Center. And that is also where the Catalyst is. So when you're taking that course, you're welcome to access the Catalyst, which is a graduate space. And it has a lovely little kitchen in it. So if you want to leave your lunch in there or study before or after the courses in that space. And the RCC also houses our offices. So on the same floor as your computer lab is our office space. So you're welcome to drop in and see us and ask any questions in person while you're on campus.
Excellent. Thank you, Marnie. And of course, we'll send you maps and everything, so you know where all of these places are when we send you the information about the classes. I do see another question on the chat from Anna. For enrolling in the elective courses that are not in our program, how would we know if there are still available spots or not? And usually, how long does it take to get the email that would notify us if we get enrolled to the course or not? Good questions. So we have been working to open up pretty much, I would say, almost all electives within our faculty are open to almost all of our students within our faculty. So if you're in a documentary media program and you're interested in taking a media production course, you might be able to do so. And we've created a credit electives website that has links to all the different courses and the schedule and the time and so on. So normally the process for that is you do need a special permission, generally speaking, from your supervisor or your program director. And there is a form that basically you have to complete and submit when you submit the request. We normally give a preference to students in that program first. So for example, if it's a media production course, we'll give media production students priority for enrollment, and then we will enroll anybody from outside the media production program. So documentary media, interior design, or whichever program you're in. So right now, if I remember correctly, the course selection forms that you received would have a deadline of August 10th, I believe it was. So at that point, we will get access to begin enrolling. So the following, probably let's say going to be a week or two, it'll give us enough time to go through all the different forms, make sure everybody is enrolled. And so within those 2 weeks, we'll know that all the students in the program are enrolled in their courses, and then we'll start looking at any requests from students outside of the program via the graduate electives website. So which again, it might take another week or so. So I would say if everything, depending on when you submit your request, as long as everything's submitted early in August, we should have confirmation emails and responses by the end of August. So you have your schedule before the first week of classes, which is the week of September 1st, well, really September 2nd, because September 1st is Labor Day, so the university is closed. Do not show up to school on Monday, September 1st. No one will be here. But the 2nd you can. And so you'll have, hopefully by the end of August, you'll have your schedule finalized. We do still have about a week or two in the first week of September to make changes or adjustments. So do email us if there's anything that needs to be updated, but ideally we'll have everything done by the end of August. In terms of knowing how many spots are available, I would say, unfortunately, we don't have like a running count of spots on the website just because it changes so quickly as we enroll people in and out. So I would say if you're interested in a course, send your request via the credit electives website, and then we'll basically look at those on a first come, first served basis. And then enroll you if there's a spot. If there's not a spot, we will let you know via email, just to let you know, unfortunately, this course is full this semester, but maybe if we know that if we know there's the same courses up for a different semester, we'll let you know. Otherwise, we'll just let you know that the course is full, and unfortunately we can't enroll you. But we'll keep you updated. All of that will happen usually via email. Hopefully that answers your question, Anna. Great. And I think that is all the ones that I can see in there. So unless there's any other questions, we can end the session here. We like to always do this, going once, going twice. No more questions. There we go. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming by, spending time with us. We'll see you in the next session, and have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, Marnie.
Thanks, Daniel.